You have to lead your boss. You have to be able to lead your boss. Your boss doesn't know what's happening. Everybody's a leader. And once people understand that, there's so much they can get out of. Look, in the beginning, when you're doing that, it's hard, right? Because you think, quite frankly, when my name is on the freaking label, I can't just cut corners. You're really good at not doing what you don't want to do. And I am. To sit on the couch and watch Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, no weekends, no evenings, really. Luckily for me,
looking from the outside as somebody that's black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the stuff that you're doing with Origin, bringing manufacturing back to the US, writing books being turned into screenplays and movies and stuff like that, and everything else that you do, that from the outside can look like something which is incredibly desirable as a position to get in. One thing that I've learned over the last few years, especially since spending more time around the people that are successful and have accolades and stuff, is that often there's prices that they pay for getting to this stage that they're at, that the people who want to be there wouldn't end up paying. So what I've come to believe is that a lot of the time people have very, very high bars and challenges that they need to get past. I'm interested in what the price is that you have to pay in order to sort of be Jocko Willink on a daily basis.
Work, a lot of work. You know, when you're watching TV or you're, you know, looking at Instagram or you're, you know, going out for dinner on a date and you go to a movie, I'm not doing that. I'm reading a book. I'm getting ready for a podcast. I'm writing something. I'm preparing for something. I'm talking to a client. I'm designing something. I'm thinking about a new supplement. Like, it's just kind of all the time. And so a guy asked me the other day, are you working more now than you were when you were in the SEAL teams? And the answer is 100%. Yes, I'm working harder now. You know, I should say I'm working more, because I'm working more time. No weekends, no evenings, really. Luckily for me, I like what I do.
I was going to say, so would you even want that? You know, would you want to spend an afternoon on the couch watching Netflix? Is that something, after a very long time of driving discipline, is that a desire that you have any longer?
To sit on the couch and watch Netflix?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not super, I'm not super stoked on that.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
You've managed to align what you want and what you want to want. They're now sitting on top of each other, right?
Yeah, and I also don't do a lot of what I don't want to do. And my partner at Echelon Front, Leif Babin, pointed this out to me like a year ago. He said, you know, you're really good. He was doing some stuff that he didn't want to be doing. And, you know, whether it was administrative stuff, and, you know, he said, you know, I've got to do this and I've got to do this. I said, why are you doing that? And he said, well, what do you mean? I said, get someone else to do that. And then, you know, a week later, he's talking. He goes, you know, I was thinking about what you said. You're really good at not doing what you don't want to do. And I am good at I am good at not doing what I don't want to do. I mean, administrative stuff like that, I don't do any of it. Do I have an accountant? Does an accountant cost me a lot of money? Yes, they do. Do I worry about it? Nope. Not in a single bit, not in the slightest way. I don't worry about it at all. And I don't have to deal with it. And my taxes are getting done. You know, that's a crazy amount of work and effort. I don't do any of it. Logistics for my online store. Do I do that? I don't do any of that. I don't do any of that. I don't touch that stuff. So all the stuff I get to do what I like to do. The weird thing is, it is a lot, and it's going to be it's challenging for people to do. It's challenging for people to do. It's challenging my wife, she's like, I said, well, that's not, I said, she'll say like, well, what about this? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. And she says, you're not normal, and I said, okay, fair enough. She doesn't think I'm normal. And I think she's probably right.
I fear she may be right as well. Yeah. So what's the principle there that people could take away? Is it to try and outsource the things that you don't want to do? Especially, let's say that it's someone that's growing a business or that is beginning to get themselves to the stage where they have the resources to be able to do this. As quickly as possible, give away the things that you don't like to do to people who can do them.
Yeah, and there's certain things that only you can do.
Yes.
Do you do those things?
Yes.
And let other people do things that other people can do. And look, I'm also, if you want to get straight business tactical, I tell people all the time, you keep things small and you let the demand signal increase and you grow as the demand signal increases. And
as opposed to what?
I don't jump in and say, oh, I don't like doing paperwork and I've got a business that I've had for 3 months. And so I'm going to hire someone as a CFO to run my accounting right now. No, I'm doing that stuff. I'm doing that stuff until we have enough income to comfortably say, yeah, we can get someone else to do this now. And I can then focus on what I'm good at. So I've done that with all my businesses. Start small and grow. As the demand signal is there, grow. And I've done things that didn't work. And luckily I didn't invest a bunch of time and effort into them because, hey, I'm going to be wrong a lot. And so just because I think something is cool doesn't mean other people are going to think it's cool. I happen to like some random thing and some people might not, or a lot of people might not like it. So I'm not going to overly invest in something that people might not want at all.
Thinking about the stuff that you can afford to outsource and the things that you can't, I think a good heuristic is what you just said there. So what are the things that only you can do?
Yep.
Only you can do your podcast.
Only I can do my podcast.
Precisely. Yep. Only you can write your books,
yep.
etc. Another one that I learned the other day from Layla Hormozi is a lot of the time, let's say that someone's got a sales company selling software or IT or whatever. One of the first people that they'll bring on is a salesperson, and then they'll begin to do operations. And she said, well, hang on, that's the thing that brings the money in. That's the thing that gives fuel to the engine, which you're hoping will drive everything else. So I do think that there's another element that I learned from her, which is do not outsource the thing that drives the revenue. The thing that drives the revenue must be protected at all costs. And if that thing is you, and another element that links back to what you just said there, if that thing is your motivation, how can we protect the motivation? Well, my motivation is waning to do the thing, to write the book, to do the podcast, to give the speeches, whatever, because of the amount of administration. Okay, let's lean into that even more. That's the point of highest leverage for us.
Yep.
Get that blockage out of the way.
Yep. Yeah. And I have all kinds of people that do all the stuff that I'm either A, not good at, or B, don't want to do, which is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. That's decentralized command. It's the fourth law of combat leadership. Like, hey, what's going on we have 5 factories right now at Origin USA, right?
Where are they?
3 in Maine, 2 in North Carolina. So that's an incredible amount of logistics and I mean, just leadership that's going on inside those. And the technical aspect of weaving cloth and sewing and setting up lines for production, that's incredible amount of work and effort and knowledge that I don't have any expertise in whatsoever. Guess what? I have a team that does. I have people that are awesome. And so that's what's going on. Echelon Front, we have scores of clients and they need help in leadership. I can't teach them all. Guess what? I have a whole team of people that has their own experiences and they're out there every single day teaching clients the leadership lessons that we know. Jocko Fuel, the same thing. You were asking me earlier, like what goes into making these things? Oh, am I giving strategic guidance about what I want? 100%. Am I taste sampling, which by the way, there's a good example of something that didn't work. The first, we made an energy drink. The first version of the energy drink was based on my taste buds. Well, my taste buds, since I don't drink a lot of sweets, the first version that we made was not very sweet at all. To me, it tasted like maple syrup practically. But I had to open my mind and get feedback, and people were like, no, actually this doesn't taste good. Okay, well then let's change it. We just changed every single flavor starting now. But that took trial and error of me saying, wait a second, I love the way this tastes, but 7 out of 10 people would say, yeah, it's okay. 3 out of 10 people would say this doesn't taste good at all. That's not a success. You got to have 10 out of 10 people say this freaking tastes delicious. And look, you got different flavors, and maybe 9 out of 10 love all the flavors, and there's one that, oh, they don't like this one. But I've got to take that feedback and adjust to what I'm hearing. But that's an example of, hey, we went down this road of this certain flavor and a flavor system that was based on my taste, which is why I know that I have to open my mind and take other opinions and listen to what other people have to say. And now we've got tastes that are delicious and universally delicious. And so now we can kind of go hard in getting it out there, because before there's a risk of, hey, how many times are you going to get someone to try a drink? One time. If it tastes like junk, they're not getting it again. So now we've got tastes that are delicious, and now people, yep, try it. Now we can win on taste, which is awesome. We're already winning on efficacy and health, but you got to win on all fronts. So now we can win on taste too. This is the thing that, part of the thing that people need to understand is, if you're a human and you interact with other human beings, you're in a leadership position. It doesn't matter if you're a frontline worker and you're not in charge of any other people, but guess what? You're interacting with your peers. You're interacting, and you have to lead your boss. You have to be able to lead your boss. Your boss doesn't know what's happening in the field. Your boss doesn't know what time that concrete should be poured. Your boss doesn't know what time those forms need to be set up by. It doesn't know that. You have to lead your boss in that right direction. You have to lead your peers in the right direction. You have to lead your family in the right direction. You have to, even if you by leading your family, that means putting your ego in check and listening to what your kids have to say. So everybody's a leader. And once people understand that, there's so much they can get out of actually learning leadership skills. So that's been pretty cool on the Echelon Front side. So that's the Origin side. That's the Echelon Front side. The Jocko Fuel side, again, we rearranged these flavors. So that's been huge. And the rest of the supplement line is just making high quality stuff and not cutting corners. And we're look, in the beginning when you're doing that, it's hard, right? Because you think, well, wouldn't it be just easier if we did this? Couldn't we just cut this? Couldn't we use a little less of this protein that's more expensive?
This expensive type of sweetener,
right,
or whatever. Yeah.
And so you want to make those cuts early on, and we didn't. And look, quite frankly, when my name is on the freaking label, I can't just cut corners. But now people recognize that. They recognize that when they buy something from Jocko Fuel, it's as good as you can get. It's the best quality stuff that you can get. So that's starting to take hold. And so that's been great to see as well.
Jocko Willink, ladies and gentlemen, if people want to keep up to date with the stuff that you're doing, where should they go?
Jocko.com.
Jocko, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
In a conversation between Chris Williamson and Jocko Willink, they delve into the demanding yet rewarding aspects of Jocko's success. While Jocko's position, from being a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to leading businesses like Origin and Echelon Front, appears desirable, he highlights the heavy price he pays for his achievements. Relentless work. He shares that when others are relaxing, he's always working, reading, preparing, writing, designing, or brainstorming. Even though his current workload surpasses that of his SEAL days, Jocko enjoys what he does and has aligned his desires with his responsibilities, making work feel purposeful rather than burdensome. One of Jocko's key strategies is delegation. He avoids tasks he dislikes or that don't require his personal input, such as administrative work and logistics, which he outsources to trusted professionals. This allows him to focus on the high-value tasks that only he can do, like creating content writing books, and driving revenue. From Jocko's approach, there are several lessons that can be applied to our own success strategies. Number 1. Hard work is non-negotiable. Achieving success requires constant effort and long hours, but aligning your work with your passions makes the grind more sustainable. Number 2. Outsource tasks you don't enjoy. Once you can afford to, delegate tasks you don't like doing or that others can handle better. This frees you up to focus on what truly matters and what only you can do. Number 3. Start small and grow responsibly. Whether in business or personal pursuits, start small and expand gradually as demand grows. Avoid jumping into unnecessary investments too soon. Number 4. Don't outsource the core of your success. Never delegate what drives your revenue. Protect and prioritize what keeps your business or personal growth thriving. Number 5. Embrace feedback and adapt. Even if you think an idea is great, it may not resonate with others. Stay open to feedback, make necessary adjustments, and be willing to adapt. Jocko's leadership philosophy extends beyond business. He emphasizes that everyone is a leader, whether at work, home, or in social settings. Learning leadership skills and guiding others, including peers and even your boss, is essential for success in any area of life. By focusing on discipline, leadership, and strategic delegation, Jocko has been able to scale his ventures while maintaining high standards of quality and integrity, offering valuable insights for anyone aiming to achieve long-term success.